I'm at Carson Beach right now, and I've done a few takes of this. I hope to make this very quickly. I discovered L Street Beach a couple of weeks ago. It took me a while to figure out how to get there. While I was on the train, I ran into some men that were from South Carolina, and I said, "Are you guys from Louisiana?" And they weren't. They were here on a mission trip, so we had a nice talk. And one of them said, "Is it nice to hear the southern accent?" I said, "Yes." So in order to get to L Street Beach, you end up at Downtown Crossing. It's on the green line and the red line. Now, I decided to get off and walk from Park Street. I got off at the Park Street, which is the green line, red line intersection. And then I walked to the orange line, which is Downtown Crossing. And I did not catch a train there. I just walked down onto the street. Washington Street is there. Macy's is across the street. You're on, you make a right on Summer Street, which hugs Macy's, and then you make a right on Chauncey, which hugs the other side of Macy's. You catch the 11th Street bus and head down to L Street. Okay, so while I was on the bus, there was a woman. It's so funny. She was listening to music, and she did not have earphones on, and it was very, very loud. Her baby was in a stroller. The baby was about 2 years old, and the girl was very quiet. So then the mom decides to pick up the baby, and the girl starts screaming as loud as she could scream. She was screaming, and everybody on the bus, I think, was going, you know, "What's the matter with that child?" She's a very, very cute girl. She was like Shirley Temple, and the mom looks at me kind of like, I don't know if she thought I was a nanny or from that show or something, and I you know, I can't help you. So she puts the little girl back in the stroller, and the little girl starts smiling again. And as I got off, they were Hispanic, so I leaned down, I touched the little girl on the elbow, and I said something like, "Hola, chiquita." And anyway, she smiled real big. Meanwhile, a couple of women got on the bus. One lady had a Boston Red Sox cap on, and I said, "Okay, I relocated from Boston. You know, I started my career here, and I relocated back in January. I'm very sorry," and I came from Houston. "I'm very sorry about the World Series." And she goes like this. So she told me how to get to L Street, and then she said, "Welcome back to Boston." All right, so then I got down to L Street, jumped in the water. It was really great. There were airplanes going over. It's in the flight path for Logan Airport. So I saw United, JetBlue, Delta, which had a wonderful flag on the tail. I think there's some international airplanes too, so it was pretty cool. However, it was loud. And then I wanted you to see the Kennedy Library, which is right there. Now, honestly, it looks like it's right here in the picture. That's how close it looks. It's just really far out there on the video. And I don't have the capacity to pause and then turn the camera around so that I can zoom. So I can't zoom when I'm in this mode. All right, but that's Kennedy Library. If you didn't see the other video, okay, real quickly, it's shaped in the shape of a sailboat because President Kennedy liked to sail. Okay, which I love to sail, subject for another time. And if you've watched a ton of the other videos, you'll see all those stories on there. Okay, and I do an extensive trip to the Kennedy Library. Wasn't able to go in, but during Patriots Day, I did kind of make my way from Lexington to Boston. It really was. It should have been the other way around. Yeah, the British are coming. Okay, so that was a really funny video. But I end up at the Kennedy Library on Patriots Day. The second time I went to L Street, I went last week, and the wind was so high. It looked like a scene from The Mummy. I mean, the sand was hovering over, and it was yellow. I looked up to this sand right here is kind of brown or something. I don't know. But people are going, "We don't jump in the harbor." Now, it's actually very clean up here. But there are places in Boston you probably don't want to go. So this is south. Okay. But but I think it's okay. All right, I'll get back to E Street. So on L Street, when I went last week, I was reading my C.S. Lewis book for my group that night, and I got so much sand in the book that it was falling out of the pages when I was at the group that night. I thought I had gotten all the sand out of the pages. Oh well. Then there were two girls when I got up to leave. One girl's from Boston, another girlfriend visiting from South Carolina. She said, oh, I play for I think it was a Wake Forest lacrosse team. So I had a really good talk about that. And I said, listen, one of my dreams is to interview people last minute that'll give me permission and so that I can put it up on Coffee and Good Stuff. And she said, oh, I would have loved to have done that. I had, I think, 3% battery left because I talked to my girlfriend, it was Kimberly Brown Blaine, that I had grown up in Brazil with. They lived there for a while, and she just lost her mom, and I miss my Aunt Millie. I did get to talk to her last fall, which was really good. I hadn't talked to her for a long time. I don't remember when the last time was. Maybe when we left Brazil, before we left Brazil, and it might have been, gosh, maybe 50 years ago or so. I don't know. But anyway, I had great memories at their house down there. They lived in Rio, São Paulo, in a city called Campinas, and I know Americans make a lot of fun of that city, but it's a great city. It allegedly is one of the top recycling, or one of the first cities to start a recycling program. And I think Florianopolis, which is on it's on the coast down there, and some of our friends, Felipe and Eleni Santos, live down there, and I think they're one of the more eco-friendly cities in Brazil. Okay, so that was a little departure. Now we're back. Now, I decided to come to E Street because I saw this on the map. When I got off at E Street, all of a sudden there was no beach. So I talked to this guy. He goes, there's no beach on E Street. You got to go to Carson Beach. And he told me where to go. So I'm on my way, and I asked this girl, am I headed the right way to Carson Beach? And she said, I wouldn't go this way. I would go this other way. So she told me how to go, and it was just, there's a bus stop 5 minutes from here. I was walking 16 minutes, but there really was, I can get off at this other. You get off at Old Harbor and 8th Street. So the bus goes down 8th Street, you get off at the Old Harbor stop, and then you walk down to Carson Beach. It's only a 5-minute walk. Okay, so then I get here, and I get in the water, and there's some sort of loam or clay-like stuff, and my toes got all, they were just, I said, I got to get out of the water. I really wanted to go swimming, but I said, okay, next time it's L Street. So let me just show you my toenail polish, sorry. I love that color because it reminds me of the beach. And yes, I'm wearing a jog bra under my bathing suit because when I bought this bathing suit, it's very modest. It came up high, and it comes up high in the back, and I don't have to reach to put sunscreen on. And I also like to run. I like to go running and then go jumping in the water, and that's just the way I have to do it right now. All right, it's a Donna Karen, and I got it for inexpensive at either TJ Maxx or Ross or Marshall's, one of those. They're all kind of related, which, by the way, I think John's cousin maybe still works at the TJ Maxx headquarters up here. Okay, story for another time. Okay, so if you saw my video back when I came in January, I jumped in the water. It was like 20 degrees. It was raining, sleeting, snowing, and I've done cold thermogenesis since I've been here, which is really cool. And thanks to Wim Hof and a lot of other people that I've been watching on Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu. Okay. But when I got out of the water, when I bent down, I didn't realize that I had a little wardrobe malfunction. So I had to upload the video on YouTube, and then I played it on my laptop, and then I recorded it with the cell phone, and then of course I deleted it from YouTube so people wouldn't see it. Anyway, so no wardrobe malfunctions. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go because this is longer than I meant for it to be. Oh, I forgot to tell the Mary Kay stories. Oh, Okay, real quick, the Mary Kay stories. When I was in Mary Kay at Boston, I was in Gloria Mayfield's group. And one year I decided not to go to convention. So that's like a 3-day, seminar that you go and oh no, I decided to go, I'm sorry. And I was going to meet everybody there, so I bought my tickets. It was like July 10th through 14th or something like that. And I got my boarding passes in June. So when I called them up in July, they said, well, you bought your tickets for June. So I just ate those and took extra shifts at work. And, I learned a lot of business sense and lots of good things for Mary Kay and made a little extra on the side. And then I think it was the following year, Gloria did not want to go, but then she said last minute, oh, I found this travel agent, book your tickets. So we did. Now there were about 8 to 10 of us that went to convention, and we stopped in either, I think it was Atlanta. It might have been Chicago, but I think it was Atlanta. And a guy from the gate says, okay, there are some ticket winners. Come, when I call your name, come down the jetway. So we all make it down the jetway. We're thinking, well, gosh, it's so coincidental. All of us that are going to convention ended up on this little, whatever it was that we're ending up on. Well, there was a marshal or airport security or somebody there, and they said, follow me, ladies. So we walked down onto the tarmac, and people are staring at us from the windows, and we're thinking, what's going on? They take us to this room. It was like a scene directly from out of Hawaii Five-0. The guy sits on the desk. His left leg is stretched out flat on the floor. The right leg is dangling. And he leans over and he goes, okay, ladies. I fully expected him to say, okay, cough it up or sing, like film noir. Now, when I kind of figured out what was going on, I said, let me speak up. I have a phone number for somebody. This is who we got the tickets from. And apparently they were there was a sting operation to bust this ring that had broken into whatever airline that was to, that had sold double booked the tickets. But anyway, we got cut rate tickets. We got to go to convention, and all was well that ended well. Okay, now I'm going to go. Thank you for stopping by Coffee and Good Stuff, and until next time.